I really believe that we stand for one thing at the end of all of the words, is that I want to get people home in time for dinner so they can see their family. And so that they're not sitting at the dinner table thinking about, geez, I got the BAS bill coming up, or how am I going to deal with that, or what am I going to do to create more sales? Like, no one should have that. You should be able to leave your business and go home and sit at your dinner table and look your kids in the eye and ask them how their day's been, or listen to your little boy say words to you that he didn't say this morning when he left for work. That's what I stand for. Because everything else is irrelevant. So that was a really tough night when I sat on the floor. The phone hadn't rang because no one rings you if they don't know about you. And my Facebook wasn't lighting up with messages like everyone promised it would, because it doesn't if you don't go on Facebook. And if you spend time just scrolling the news feed all day and looking at random shit, you're going to get random results. And I got to that point where my wife came in and she said to me, like, you got to fix this, because we got a 6-month-old baby. He was nearly 1 at the time, sorry. So he would have been maybe, I don't know, 9 or 10 months at the time. And right now we're not going to be able to put food on the table next week, and we're not going to be able to buy him nappies. And like for me, when my dad died, like I made a promise that I wouldn't waste my life. And that was a really sobering moment for me. And I realized that my ego was getting in the way. And so I had a little cry that night with my wife, luckily. And the next day I got rid of my ego, and I realized, like, this is it. Like, this is the shot. And if I want what I came for, I got to get out my own way. And so I made a video. It was the first video I ever made, and it was completely foreign to me, and it was so uncomfortable, and I've still got the video. And I put it up on Facebook, and I created a Facebook advert. I had no idea what I was doing with Facebook ads. I was bluffing my way through it. And then I hit the phones, and I phoned 300 people to get them to come along to my first event. And we sold 25, 30 tickets at $297, and that gave us some breathing space for the first time. And I felt unbelievable at that time. And I realized that the only person who would cost me the success was me. And it wasn't the market, and it wasn't their fault, and it wasn't my wife's fault, and it wasn't anyone's fault apart from mine, because I was the one that didn't do the work, because I was stuck on this notion of this is how it should look. I had this blueprint for, well, I was good in my professional career, so why aren't people ringing me now? And I was really stuck in that. Once I got out of that, it became a lot easier, because then I got momentum. For the first time, I felt momentum. I was being the salesperson in the business, I was being the delivery person in the business, I was doing accounts, I was doing event management, I was doing advertising, I was building landing pages, I was building the website, I was doing all of that stuff, I was writing the proposals. That's not feasible to continue that. That gets you to a level where you're making a living, where you've created a job for yourself. That does not give you a business. What gives you a business is saying, okay, well, what's next? And do I need to get out of my own way? And recognizing that getting out of your own way is where the strength is. And trusting that someone else has done it before, or trusting that others have answered, and not being caught up in your own ideals. Not thinking, well, that's how it just needs to look. You know, acknowledging that people have left some clues for you, and following the cookie trail, following the crumbs, because that will get you there far quicker and with less stress. You've got to let go of any preconceived notion of how it should be done, and you've got to trust that other people have an opinion that is valid too. Because when you come into the journey, oftentimes you've just got this really clear vision of what it looks like in your head. But when you start to put that into practice, it might not work. Or if it does work, it doesn't work well, or it doesn't work as well as it could. It doesn't work to the maximum potential that it could. And I think for most business owners, they get stuck in this thing of, well, if I let people in, that's going to mean that I diminish my ability to take the vision forward. And I think that if they just understand and trust that doing that is actually the thing that takes them to the summit more easily, then there's massive power in that. Because you know, if you're gonna climb Mount Everest, you don't do it alone. You take a team with you. You take Sherpas with you because they know the way. Or if they don't know the way, they at least support you by carrying some of the weight for you, so you've got the energy to get there. And too many business owners don't do that. They try and do it alone, or they don't surround themselves with people that can support them on the journey, and they die. They crack, and they have to give up because they just can't continue mentally anymore. And to bring someone on board was really fucking hard for me, but it was the best thing I ever did. And doing that set up so much opportunity within the business, and allowed me to find the right support around me, so that I was doing the thing that I really loved to do, and I could focus on the thing that I was really good at, which was creating the vision in the first place, and let everyone else do the things that I'm not good at, and not being scared to allow that to happen. And that's what you got to do. Like that's the only way to get to the summit. Like there is no way in the world you can do it all alone. Like there just isn't. You're doing too much shit. Like you're doing everything at once. And first of all, not only is it going to overwhelm you because you're lacking focus in one key area, you're also going to struggle to measure where the results are coming from. You need to test one method really well with a good strategy and then see if it works, and if it doesn't, go to another one. Model what works and then do the fun stuff later. Like there's plenty of time to make postcards with local artists. Right now you need to get some cash flow. Yeah, and guess what? If you're lacking money, you ain't got no mission. No money, no mission. Don't not reward yourself for growth as well. Because like you got to tell your brain, shit, we got a sale today, let's reward ourselves. Even if we pay yourself $1, right? Yeah. Like just to say, we earned this $1, and then keep the fucking $1 and tape it to your wall and say that's the first $1 we ever earned. Make maybe 70 cents because the tax man will want a bit. Before you even go to the market, you should understand your clients so well. Like what books do they read? What magazines do they read? Where do they go and drink their coffee? How often do they go out drinking champagne with the girls? Do they drink champagne? Do they drink wine? Do they drink cups of tea, or do they drink coffee? You need to know that level of detail for your buyer. Let me just take a screenshot because I want to post it to Business Owners Club because I'm excited as fuck about your brand. Get your cup of tea up. Love it. All right, boys. We'll speak to you later. Take it easy.
See ya.
See you, boys. Great guys.
Yeah,